Lo, do, 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 do. Hello, beautiful children of China. It's your teacher, Timothy. Get the cobwebs out of your mind. It's time to learn something new, just me and you, okay? Just me and you. Let's get this thing started too. This is my timer, which I love to have just to make sure that things are about at the right time. You can see here, here's what I have. It's my timer. It tells me it should be about a half-hour long lesson, and we're already about 10 seconds into it, right? And I'm working on this candle. You can see that little wick, that's called the wick of a candle. It is down a little bit too far, so I'm working on that. And if it takes too long, I will turn off the video and I will get it so that it is looking good. I think I'll do that. I think I'll just pause for a moment and then we'll get back to it. Okay, we are back. Time to start the candle, to light the candle. Remember, if there are matches around, you must ask a grown-up, mom, dad, uncle, aunt, grandma, grandpa, neighbor, but children should not light matches without a grown-up knowing. There we go. That's gonna work just fine now. I'm happy about that. Put it right here. Put it right there. And we'll turn this up so you don't have to look at those books so much. That looks good. That looks pretty good. And of course, there's George. George, where are you? George. George, hello. What do you have to say today, George? You want to learn something about writing. Okay, I would love to learn something about writing too. We're going to go through this lesson together about creative writing. It talks at the beginning, and then there are a few, as there oftentimes are, a few different aspects that are very different in this lesson. So let's go through it together. I'll make my picture smaller. There we go. And this is all going very well, correct? Yes, that is. That is the one. I'm just double checking. Yep. Good. Yes. Yep. I'm sorry. I'm just double checking something. Yes, we are good. We are good. Okay, so let's start in. Work with a partner for creative writing. Now, the word creative means something that you make up, really beautiful. Poems are creative and fiction is creative. Creative writing, academic vocabulary. Now, vocabulary, word, you know what that means, words. And academic means school words, ones that might be used in high school. And you see, you sound smart if you use academic vocabulary. Work with a partner. Read the meanings and share answers to the questions. So let's read this. You can use your imagination. That's your to imagine something. The image, to see an image in your heart, in your mind, imagination. To picture new things in your mind. To picture new things in your mind. Do you see that? The cool thing about this is the word imagination. I love words, and so I'm going to say this. The word image right there is in it. And it says right here to picture new things in your mind. An image is a picture. That's really what it is. So the word image is right in the word imagination. New things in your mind. Close your eyes and think about a day at the beach. Can you do that? Close your eyes. Think about a day at the beach. Good. What does your imagination picture in your mind? So let's do this. I'm going to say a few things. I'm closing my eyes. I'm imagining a day at the beach. You should do the same. A day at the beach. I can hear the waves now. Can you pretend to hear the waves? Yeah. I can hear a seagull, a bird. I can see some children running. Oh, that little person just fell down in the sand, but it's okay because sand is soft. So you can go like that. You can see things in your imagination. Number 2, if words are repeated, they are written over and over and over to repeat something, repeat something. What do you read with words that are repeated? What do you read with words that are repeated? I don't even know what that question means. But if I were to try to answer, what do I read with words that are repeated? I suppose the newspaper, it oftentimes has the same name at the top. They repeat Minneapolis Star Tribune at the top, or the St. Paul Pioneer Press, and different columns are the same words. In creative writing, you use words and your imagination to write stories and poems. Literature connections. You can find an example of creative writing in A Cupcake Party by David McPhail. Writing stories. Now we're going to talk about writing stories, a creative writing piece. Reading or listening to stories is fun. With some planning, you can write your own made-up story. So during this lesson, you can try your own story. You can make your own story up. You can write your own made-up story. Kaylee writes her story. So let's watch how she did it. Kaylee likes to make up stories of her own. She likes to write about animals. This chapter will show you how to write a story too. Remember these points when you write a story. Number 1, you include characters, a setting, a problem, and a plot. Number 2, you write a beginning, a middle, and an ending. Do you remember that? Remember that we talked about that just 1 or 2 lessons ago? You write the beginning, the middle, and the ending. Those are the parts of a story. And we'll see in a made-up story what those look like, what those sound like. Look at the parts of the story. Characters. Now, characters, that has another word inside of that. Look, actors. Actors are the people or the creatures that are acting in the story. Characters are the people or animals in the story. Setting. The setting tells where or when and where the story happens. The problem is the trouble that the main characters face. What kind of problem is there in this story? The plot is what happens when the characters try to solve the problem. Let's read that again. The characters are the people or the animals. The setting is when and where the story happens. The problem is the trouble that the main characters face. And the plot is what happens when the characters try to solve that problem. So here, it looks like maybe here's the beginning, the middle, and the ending. Let's read this. Susie's missing hiss. One morning, Susie the snake woke up. Something was wrong. Susie could not hiss. She twirled around. She stood on her head. She even tied herself in a knot. Nothing worked. Susie still couldn't hiss. So she went to see Dr. Owl. He hooted, "You have the cold. Go to bed." Susie slept and slept. And then maybe this is the ending. She woke up and hissed a tiny, soft hiss. And then she smiled and hissed a big, loud hiss. So there is a good made-up story about Susie the snake. Do you see the beginning, the middle, and the ending of my story? Let's look back. There's the beginning, there's the middle, and there's the ending. We do see it. The beginning. The beginning names the main character and the setting. It also tells about the problem. Let's look back and see how she did that. Did she name the main character? Did she name the main character? It's Susie the snake. That's the main character. Also, did it name the problem? Something was wrong. Susie could not hiss. There's the problem. Does it give a setting? One morning. That's the setting. It's the morning time. So yeah, this one does do that with the beginning. That's good. Number 2, the middle. The middle tells how the main character tries to solve the problem. Let's see about this. How does Susie the snake try to solve the problem? Let's see. She twirled around. So there's one thing she did. She stood on her head. There's another thing she did. She even tied herself in a knot. That's something else. And then nothing worked. So it tells what she's trying to do to solve it. She couldn't hiss. So then what did she do? She went to see Dr. Owl. And Dr. Owl told her what to do. So yeah, that is how she tries to solve the problem. That really did it. And finally, the ending. The ending tells how the problem is solved and how the main character feels. Let's go see the ending. She woke up and hissed a tiny, soft hiss. Then she smiled, that tells how she feels, and she hissed a big, loud hiss. So the smile tells us she's happy and she solved her problem. So there you have it. There's the ending. Who is the main character in the story? Susie the snake. What is the problem? She lost her hiss. How is the problem solved? Dr. Owl tells her what to do. So for your story, you're going to make up a story. Who's the main character in your story? What is the problem? And how is the problem solved? I think you should really try to write a story. This will be fun. So pre-write and plan your story. Carlo pre-writes to plan his story. First, Carlo lists animals that he likes, and then he chooses his main character and makes a story plan. So over here, you can see Carlo wrote all the different animals that he likes, and then he decided, I'm going to do this one about a crab. In the beginning, Herman has lost his shell. In the middle, different size shells he's looking at. And then finally at the end, he finds just the right shell. So I'm going to write about a hermit crab probably that's going to make up a story about losing its shell. List animals and choose your main character. Make a story plan. So what do you want to make up your story about? I like my favorite animal right now. My favorite animal is a tiny little mouse that I just saw today outside. And so I'm going to choose that main character and make a story plan. And then write your first draft. Carlo uses the ideas from his story plan to write sentences. This is his first draft. Let's read his first draft. Here we have the beginning right up here, right? We have the middle and we have the ending right here. So let's read these. One morning, Herman the crab was exercising and had a surprise. His shell popped off and rolled into the ocean. Tasha the turtle said, "Try on other shells." Some shells were too small. They pinched. One shell was too big. Herman was getting tired. And then the ending, he saw a shiny shell. He tried it on. It was just right. There's the ending. So that's the first draft. Write your first draft. You should write your first draft. Stop the video now and write your first draft, okay? Use the ideas in your story plan. Write sentences to make a first draft. You should do that so that it looks a little bit like this. Revise and edit and make changes. Carlo reads his story to a partner. He makes changes and checks for conventions. So when you finish writing your first draft, then you should read it to a partner, your mom, your dad, your uncle, your aunt, your grandma, your grandpa, your neighbor. I wish I was there so that you could read it to me. So look at what Carlo did. He read this to a friend and then they made some changes. This was not spelled right. He added a caret here with the word oops. He added a period here. He put then here to give a time word, remember a sequence word. He changed this to a capital because it's the first letter of a new sentence. and at the end added a caret with a long line, Herman liked his new home. Oh, those are good changes. Probably his partner suggested those. Read your story to a partner. Change your story to make it better. Check for capital letters, end marks, and spelling. Those are the 3 conventions, aren't they? So then you write it out and publish. Share your writing. Carlo adds a title to his story and makes a neat final copy. He shares his story with another class. So let's read Carlo's story now that it's done, okay? Let's read it now that it's done. We'll read it together. The title is Herman's New Home. And the story says, one morning, Herman the crab was exercising and had a surprise. Whoops, his shell popped off and rolled into the ocean. Tasha the turtle said, try on other shells. Some shells were too small. They pinched. One shell was too big. Herman was getting tired. Then he saw a shiny shell. He tried it on. It was just right. Herman liked his new home. There we have it. There is the final draft. I like it. Good job. Share your writing. Add a title to your story. Make a neat final copy of your story and then read it out loud to someone. Maybe it's your class. Maybe it's your family. When you read it out loud, you should read it slowly, read it clearly, and if you have something to show, hold it up very, very high so people can see it, not like down here, and speak and look with your eyes once in a while. Look at them so that they know that you're thinking about them. Yep, that's how you would share your reading. So let me try that. I think I read this last draft of Herman's New Home too quickly. If I were really reading this for my class, I would read it like this, nice and loud and slow. Herman's New Home. I'll stop for a second. You should read with me. It would be nice if you just read right along with me, okay? I'll start again. Herman's New Home. One morning, Herman the crab was exercising and had a surprise. Oops! His shell popped off and rolled into the ocean. Tasha the turtle said, try on other shells. Some shells were too small. They pinched. One shell was too big. Herman was getting tired. Then he saw a shiny shell. He tried it on. It was just right. Herman liked his new home. Good. Now, one thing I want to say about the last words when you're reading, right here. Herman liked his new home. Right here, especially right there and right there, you can leave a long space. And if it's at the very end of the piece, if it's at the end of the paper, it sounds good. So listen. Herman liked his new home. Did you see how that sounded? It sounded good. It sounded like we were coming to the end. If I don't do that, it just sounds like this. Herman liked his new home. And it sounds like there's going to be more. It sounds like it's not very interesting. One more time, doing it the right way. Herman liked his new home. And we know we're done. We know we're done. So that's good. That's what happens to your published paper. Yep. So I'm wondering if you were able to write something, to do some creative writing of your own. I think that I told you that I would write about a mouse. And in the beginning, let's just go, this is the most interesting part for me. The beginning, the middle, and the end. The characters, the setting, the problem, and the plot. What are your characters? Can you say them out loud? Mine are 2 mice. 2 different mice. What is the setting? What is your setting? My setting is underneath a bowl, and the snow is coming down, and underneath it's a dog's bowl. Underneath there's no snow, so it's kind of a cozy little warm place, and that's where they live. That's the setting. And then what's next? The problem. What is the problem for you? What is your problem for your little characters? You should figure out your problem. For me, the mouse lives underneath the bowl, and the problem is that the dog that comes and drinks at the bowl would love to eat those mice right up, but they're underneath where the dog can't see it. But they can't go out to get their food unless the dog is gone. That's the problem. And the plot is what happens when the characters try to solve the problem, right? Because they get hungry. So what is your plot and what is your problem? I think it's really interesting, this kind of story. My plot is that they are going out from the bowl, and one of them has to look this way and one has to look that way, and when the dog is far away, they run out and grab some food and come running back. But while they're running back and forth, the dog sees them and comes running after them, growling. Luckily, they get underneath and the dog loses the scent of where they are. And they stay there for another day. So that's the plot. So then we have those things, and we can start. Remember that it says that the beginning of the story names the main character and the setting. So for me, it would say 2 mice. That would be the name. And then it would say, one morning, 2 mice were living under a dog bowl. And then you have it, the 2 characters and where they live. That's the setting. And then in the middle, you tell how they're trying to solve a problem. I'm sorry. The beginning also says the problem. So how would I say that? One morning, 2 mice were living under a dog bowl. The dog wanted to eat them. That would be enough. That would tell the problem, but could not see them. Anyway, you understand. So I'm hoping that you'll be able to write a really good creative story and share it with your mom or dad tonight. Something wild and fun and interesting, okay? That would be really good. All right, well, we went through this quite well. I hope that your writing is going well. I sure do hope that. And remember up here with the academic vocabulary, the word imagination. You should learn this word. It's a very important word. And repeat. To repeat something, if something is repeated, it's said over and over and over. Imagination is something that you think up in your heart and in your mind. A special story, creative writing story. Those are good words, important words. So one thing I want to say here is that I have been sending videos to China for a long time now, and I love sending videos to China. You can see my face. Look, you can see my face. I can't see your face. I can see George. George can't see your face. George and I are going to come to China. We're going to come and visit in the month of February. And I think that you have a big holiday in February. And so George and I are going to travel around China. One of our stops is going to be in Chengdu. Do you say Chengdu or Chengdu? I'll learn when I get there. And we'll be there for a little while. If you wanted to come and shake my hand, if you'd like to come and shake George's hand, then you should come there and we could meet. It would be wonderful. Maybe we'll sing a little bit together. I love singing. Okay? So if you want to do that, you should check out this right here. And you'll be able to find where I am when I'm traveling through China, okay? I hope that you can see. I think you can see that now. This is my friend Yushi. She has this company that is helping to know where I am and to connect me with people if they want to meet me. All right? All the best to you. Goodbye. The lesson is over now. It's your teacher, Timothy, and I'm signing off. Thanks for a good lesson. I'm going to blow this out, George, or maybe you should blow it out. Can you see it in here? Very good. Very good. Now I'm happier. You are smarter, and the whole world is a little bit smaller. You hold this, George. No, he can't hold that. Time to say goodbye, George. Time to say goodbye.